All right, with rumors of Florida having a meeting this morning that could potentially lead to the firing of Florida head coach Billy Napier, I thought it'd be a good time to look at some of the coaching candidates that Florida could have an interest in if the job does come open. So I'll go down this list, and then ultimately I'll eliminate one by one who I think is not a good fit here, and then I'll ultimately give you my prediction in the end. So I got about 12 names here. Let's go ahead and talk about it. These are not in any particular order here, but Billy Napier at Florida simply hasn't worked out. I was wrong about this hire. I thought it would work. He had a lot of success at Louisiana before he came to Florida. And I think that's kind of going to impact who they hire with this job this time. Because even if he's not fired now, he's going to probably get fired at the end of the year minus a complete change because they don't look good right now. And I thought it would be a good hire, but I think they're probably not going to hire from the G5 ranks this time, would be my guess. They're going to hire a guy that has proven he can win at the power level. So let's go ahead and talk about it. First off, the first name, the most obvious name people are going to be talking about, Lane Kiffin. At Ole Miss, all right, he has been through the ranks, been at USC, went to the NFL, came back to Nick Saban to be the OC at Alabama. He's been around, and his name has been out there in the last couple cycles, whether it was Alabama or other spots. Now, the real question is, would he take this job? Is Ole Miss as good of a job as Florida? Florida, despite them not being great as of late, I would say is definitely still a top 10 job, if not a top 5 job. They just have so much money. And he has proven he can win at Ole Miss, but has he reached his ceiling? Can he realistically win a national championship at Ole Miss? I would say probably not. But he's set in stone. I mean, he's definitely, he definitely got enough money now by being the head coach at Ole Miss. So would he be even interested in making this jump? If he's chasing national championships, I think the answer is yes, but we'll get to that later. Jedd Fisch at Washington. He is from Florida, Florida grad, but the question really is, from a Florida perspective, has he done enough to warrant, me wanting to hire him as from Florida? From Florida's perspective, has Jedd Fisch done enough at Arizona, at Washington to warrant being the head coach of the Florida Gators? And I really don't know if he has, because he had that one good year at Arizona, and other than that, hasn't done much. So I don't know if he's how good of a fit. Alex Golesh at USF. He's had success at USF. At South Florida, they're trending up pretty quickly, but same situation. Like I was saying, I don't know if they'll go the G5 route this time. Gus Malzahn at UCF. Could he go, the Hugh Freeze route, get back into the SEC? Has had success at Auburn previously in the SEC. This is a name that could be kind of a sleeper that's not being talked about a lot. Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri. This is a name I've seen thrown out a lot as another sleeper candidate potentially. Same situation. He's doing good at Missouri. Could he parlay that into a better job and really capitalize on kind of this little window right now this year and last year where they're going to have success? I think he could. But I don't know how big a fan Florida fans would necessarily be of this. Lance Leipold at Kansas. He's not necessarily a good fit for the region. He's more of like a Big Ten area guy, but he has had a lot of success everywhere he's been. Glenn Schumann, Georgia defense coordinator. This is a name I've seen thrown around at a lot of big jobs as of late. Saw that game last night against Kentucky, for example. Georgia defense really got after him. And this might be too big of a jump, I would say, most likely, but it seems like he'll get a job here pretty soon in the power level. Jamey Chadwell at Liberty. So if we were to go off of strictly head coaching, I think this is the best head coach on this list. What he has done, he has proven he can win double-digit wins every single season. But again, I don't think they'll go to the G5 ranks this time, probably. Mark Stoops at Kentucky, that's a name that always gets thrown around. Took the A&M job last year, had a lot of backlash, so he kind of backtracked on it. But that's a name always to watch if you want, consistent success as far as 8 wins at least. Matt Campbell, Iowa State, he was a finalist last time for this job. It was between him and Billy Napier. Could his name get back into the mix? His name always gets thrown around with these names, similar with Stoops, with Lance Leipold. Their names always get thrown around, and these guys are kind of always in the running for jobs like this. So could Matt Campbell be interested again? Maybe. James Franklin at Penn State, his name was thrown around last time as well. This is a name that I would be interested in if I'm a Florida guy, because while he hasn't beaten the best teams, I think he is going to get Florida. He would get Florida to 10 wins every year, probably. He would have success as far as being a top 25 team consistently again. But it depends on really what you're chasing here as a Florida fan. Do you want consistency? Do you want national championships? What do you want? Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. So his name was thrown around last time, but he was at Cincinnati at that time. But is Florida a step up from Wisconsin? I would say yes, but Luke Fickell, similar to Leipold, is not necessarily a fit down here. He's always been up in that Ohio, Wisconsin region as far as Big Ten country is concerned. So I don't know if he quite fits this job. So let's go ahead and start eliminating some candidates here. First off, we're going to eliminate some of the G5 guys. Alex Golesh at USF. I think he'll get a job sooner rather than later because he is doing good things at USF. But I don't think this is the one. I think they've got to go big here because obviously they went to the G5 ranks last time with Billy Napier and it didn't work. All right, next thing I'm going to cross off here is Glenn Schumann, Georgia DC. He might be a good head coach eventually, but I think it's just too early to make that big of a leap to Florida. Jamey Chadwell, same situation with Golesh. And Jamey Chadwell, again, I think he's a great head coach. I think he'll get a job at some point, but he has turned down jobs previously. Like he turned down the Mississippi State job despite being offered because he's probably holding out for a bigger SEC job. So who knows? He could end up getting this one. I would be a fan of it, but I don't think Florida fans would like that, though. Mark Stoops of Kentucky, we're going to cross him off. We know we'll have some similar backlash to A&M probably with that one. Lance Leipold at Kansas, I don't think he's a good fit here, so I don't see that happening. Luke Fickell, I don't see him leaving Wisconsin. He already gets paid pretty well there, so I don't really see that happening. Now, we've got a final 6 here, which I think is fairly interesting. Lane Kiffin, would he make the leap? Jedd, Fisch, he is from there, so he definitely has ties. Gus Malzahn, could he be looking to get back to the SEC? Drinkwitz, could he capitalize on kind of this run right now? Matt Campbell was a finalist last time. Like I said, his name always gets thrown around here. And then James Franklin. I think this is an interesting name to keep an eye on that could end up being a finalist here if he's interested in leaving. I don't know if he is, but I know Penn State fans are somewhat fed up with him as far as not being able to get over the hump. But I think they'll make the playoff this year, and his kind of hot seat will kind of cool. So as far as this list is concerned, I'm going to take off Gus Malzahn first. Okay, I don't think they would go that route just because he's been there, done that. I feel like they're going to try to find a guy that can have success for a long time here, and Gus Malzahn's probably not just going to coach that long here. Next thing I'm going to cross off is James Franklin. I wouldn't be against this hire, but I don't think he leaves Penn State right now. So we've got a Final Four here that really, I could see all these guys being interested in the job. I'm going to take Matt Campbell off right now because I feel like his allure, like as far as people wanting to bring him in as a head coach, is kind of diminished since the last time. Because, you know, you go back to when the last time before the job opened, Matt Campbell's name was being thrown around everywhere, the NFL, other college jobs. So it's kind of not the case now. So you got a final three that I think is probably a lot of people's most common three, top three here. The thing with Jedd Fisch, and again, I think he would be a solid fit being from Florida. He wants them to win, but I don't think he's done enough as a head coach to warrant that success. So I'm going to take him off the list. So that gets the final two of Lane Kiffin and Eli Drinkwitz. Both guys in kind of similar situations. They've had success at SEC jobs that aren't just perennial contenders, but they're both in the top 10 right now, both these teams. Which one of them can parlay that success into the Florida job? And I think it's finally time that Lane Kiffin makes the jump. So I'm going to say they're probably going to hire Lane Kiffin. Usually when there's smoke, there's fire. And Lane Kiffin's name to Florida has just been thrown around too much. I think it might happen. So I think Lane Kiffin is ultimately who ends up getting this job. But if Billy Napier gets fired, whether it's today, whether it's the end of the year, who do you think they hire? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.